My teacher is not changing. No,
Since the day one.
that's true.
It's just well, in my perspective. That's so sad.
Do we have video?
Spicy.
And call the meeting to order at 1:30. I just want to let everybody know that we will email, have available all the materials subsequent to the meeting. I also want to let folks know that the meeting is being recorded, for distribution as well. Yes, that's Sarah.
I'm gonna try and go next slide the best I can. You all call me out.
Welcome and thank you for taking time on this beautiful day to attend the annual meeting of the Stonington Country Club. It's been a year of exciting improvements as well as challenges. It's hard to believe that 5 months have already passed since the grand opening of our newly renovated clubhouse. Many thanks again to all those who contributed to the success of this effort. It's been a pleasure to see so many members enjoying meals and social events this season. Along with the dedication of member resources to the project, it was important that leadership and management work together to elevate the quality of our offerings and improve member service to be commensurate with that financial commitment. This is an ongoing goal for the entire team. We have a wide variation in the demographics of our club. We have over 900 people to serve, and there are many ways that the club is being used. We have golfers who enjoy competition and those who only want to play for fun. We have new and seasoned golfers who have taken part in the clinics offered by our golf staff, social members enjoying the restaurant and events planned by the house committee and the food and beverage team. It's been encouraging to see increased interest in our leagues. We continue to have more participation in our men's league. Our women's league grew by 20% this year, and our Twilight League has also had significant participation. Our club has undergone major changes in the past several years. In addition to a change in the management structure, we have grown our membership by nearly double. This brings its own challenges. I have heard from many members who are completely satisfied with every club experience, and those who are looking for something more elevated. This requires management and member leadership to balance the desires of the members, the financial realities facing us. One of the ways I endeavored this past year to address these differences was to instill more responsibility with our standing committees who work closely with our management team to ensure acceptable service levels to all members. There are a few different schools of thought around how committees should operate in an environment with a full management team. Some want the committees and board to operate as advisors, while others want them to be more involved in decision-making at a higher level. To address some of these questions, I created a strategic plan committee late last year to help understand the evolving expectations of membership. This is an ongoing effort, which you will hear more about later today. When the time comes, I encourage all members to participate in this important undertaking. In closing, I want to thank all of our committee heads and committee members who worked so hard this year. Many thanks also to staff and management. We have lots of new people on the team who stepped in quickly and became an important part of the Stonington Country Club family. We have a few events to enjoy before the season ends, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. We're going to go to the approval of minutes from last year's meeting. These all went out ahead of time. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from last year's meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? The motion carries. We're going to spend some time on a few minutes on each of the committees. I believe the first one is the membership app.
Thank you, Don. For those of you who may not know me, I'm Al Spatafora, also third secretary of the club. Like Don mentioned, we've grown the membership considerably, which has been very encouraging. Plus, they've seen that we have a new renovated clubhouse. It's been a great attraction for new members coming in. We currently have the golf memberships capped at 380. No plans to raise that. We currently have 63 social members and 60 social golf and waiting memberships as well. So it's a total of 123 social members. I know there's been some concerns raised to our committee regarding should cap the number of social golf and waitings due to tee time pressures specific. We look at that monthly, and currently the social golf and waiting members and social members only use about 2% of the tees that are available. So at the end of October, for example, there were 16,079 rounds played, and the social and social golf and waiting only counted to about 2%. So the biggest ones are the full individual and full families that count for the most play. We have 11 Capital Club members, so there's opportunities for 4 more, either new members coming in that want to get into that, or just current members want to get into that, they can. But we currently have 11 Capital members. We've been running around between 20 and 30 resignations per year, so that's typical. Last year we had like 28. This year so far it's 6, so it's a little less so far, so that's good. So we have a strong membership that people are attracted to come here, and like every week, I know you guys see the emails go out that people want to join the club. So that's all I have for membership. Any questions? Yes, sir.
So
Initiation for a full family is 15,000, and for individuals 10. And that we raised that as the other thing the membership committee works on too. Look at the initiation fee, raise that in March, and we'll look at it at the spot.
So
They do, yes, sir. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
what's the Capital Club number?
Who wants to explain that better than me? Well, Dan's done it, so I'll do the best I can. It's $75,000 to get in. And that will allow you don't have to pay dues for 10 years. 10 years, so it gives the club an influx of money. It's out with capital projects or whatever. So last year they put a plan together that had 15 slots. And like I say, we got 11 of those slots filled, so there's opportunity for. Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Nick Stefanski, Golf Committee.
My name is Bansky, I'm the chairperson of the golf committee. And the golf committee, we have input in all golf related activities such as golf tournament formats, golf calendar, men's league, golf operations, and implementing local rules. Some of our accomplishments for 2025, in addition to looking at all that stuff, is, we updated the scorecard with pace of play. So if you keep the scorecard, you'll see there's a running time on there, so you can track the time and make sure you're on pace. We target a 4-hour, 12-minute round. We refined each tournament has a term of competition, and we find those, we look at those every year to make sure, things like what's the format of the tournament, is it shotgun start, is it tee time start, and so forth. We established shot games for both days. I think that's been a big hit. And the handicap committee, which is a subcommittee of the golf committee, did a lot of work with the hole tees and signing, handicaps associated with those teams. Some of our goals for 2026 is continuing to refine the golf calendar, try to balance club events with outside events, and making sure we have enough vendor access to tee times. That's a very difficult thing to do. The outside events we have on Mondays in April, May, and June, then September and October, and they're a source of they're on Mondays, source of revenue for the club. So it's and even with club run tournaments, not everybody plays in those tournaments, so we try to balance out as best we can availability of the first tee. So it's difficult balance, but we try to do the best we can. We introduced for next year, adopt a hole. I think of maintaining the golf course, person can adopt a hole, meaning, for instance, myself, I'll say I'm going to adopt the third hole. Every time I play, I'll go out and pick up broken tees, put sand in divots, pale bar marks on the green, rake traps, not to interfere or slow down play, just in a normal course of play, to help maintain and keeping the course in good shape. That'll be a strictly voluntary program.
We're also gonna adopt hole 8, it's all my fault.
We're gonna implement a sanction policy for grass. We had a number of no-shows during last-minute no-shows, 24 hours before a tournament started, that really impacted the tournament. We've set up a sanction policy where, it's a graduated sanction. First time that happens, okay, everybody has the emergency come up, that can happen. There's no penalty, but you just get a warning. Second time that happens to the same person, there'll be a sanction. And then the third time, it'll be even a stricter sanction. So try to help eliminate just no shows. And that'll be for tournaments, not league play, but tournaments. And also, we're looking at reviewing the men's league format. We have a 9-hole division and an 18-hole division. We're not changing that, but just to maybe make each the 9-hole and the 18 make 2 flights to keep the low handicaps in one flight and higher handicaps in another flight, just to make that more even and people playing people are similar. But again, the golf committee, we've met 4 times already this year. We're going to meet again in November and to look at the calendar for next year. So does anybody have any questions or comments? Yes.
Not sure if this falls under you. Where are we? Are we looking for a new pro? Is that under golf committee?
I'm involved with that. We are going to taking away a little steam from Robin, but I'll just address that. We are going to have us post a job very shortly within the next few weeks. Yes.
People are confused about people. You're supposed to be filling divots. I mean,
Hey. Just to help out.
So you don't have to do any.
Got the hurricane pull, gold tees, acquired since 385. And this year they've been putting the gold tees back with white tees. So there's a huge discrepancy between scorecard and the court. Is that gonna be a new tee put in?
So there, as best I know, from the front of those tees is 385 yards.
There's a marker on the ladies' tee that says 385.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. We can tell, I would certainly take a look at it, yes.
Yeah.
We did, in reviewing, on the handicap committee, we did review certain holes, where the tee should go. I know gold tees used to be up, where the red tees are. We made a conscious decision there to move that tee back. There are other holes that are, the gold tees are significantly forward from the white tees, but that one there, we decided that. Because I don't think it's, even though I believe you, there's might be a marker there that says that, but there, that's not 385 yards. Red tee. I like 300. Any other questions? Thank you.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Del Videla. I am the House Committee Chair. For those who may not be familiar with House and our committee, essentially we're responsible for everything that has to do with this structure, the operations of it, food and beverage operations. That's really what we're here to do, to serve you in that capacity. So I've been House Committee Chair now for 2 years. Here, John, this past year, 1 year previously, and Jim. I'm an active member of the Twilight League that meets on Thursdays, so I encourage you all to join us. A lot of fun. And you might often see me here in the afternoons for lunch. I'm often here with my husband Stephen, who's back, and our 4-year-old daughter May. She's not here today because I thought she'd be way too much of a disruption for all of us, especially me. Last year I spoke to all of you and I said that my personal goal for Hutch was to make it better, a little bit better every year. And actually a year ago when I stood here, I actually said, we've met that goal last year. I'm very happy to report that this year, I feel like that is absolutely the case. They took a big step forward this year. And in doing so, I personally like to thank the beverage staff, particularly Robin, Brian, Chef Jim, all the servers and bartenders. I think we asked a lot of them this year. The renovation of the big one, a big step forward. So that being said, I'd like to dive into our 2025 accomplishments and why I took that big step forward. The first piece is the renovation project, which we can all see around us right now. Our House Committee was responsible, not directly for the clubhouse renovation, that fell to the Chris Committee, but was highly involved in selecting all of the furniture, selecting all of the fabrics. And without them, we wouldn't have had this nice selections that we had. So I thank them for the work on that. They also were highly instrumental in renaming our old pub room and this ballroom to the Stonington Room at the Top Rock Tavern. Thank you to all the members who submitted names. Essentially, we got a voting process amongst committee members, whittled it down, kind of a multi-phase step until we landed on those 2 names that ended up getting the most votes. So thank you to everyone that submitted names. I think we've got kind of great launching point here to now reintroduce this clubhouse to everybody. The other thing that I want to mention is that we started the season, the House Committee started our season, I'll say, by meeting back in January, February, and March. And during those meetings, we talked a lot about where did we want social events to go this year? Did we want to get done? Did we want to introduce events? And Donna had really urged us to have each committee member be in this. So what I had done is I asked every committee member to come up with 1 or 2 new social event ideas. And that's how we got to the comedy night. That's how we got to the oyster and wine night, some of these things that we've never done before. This was expertise of some of our own house committee members. So we're able to leverage that expertise and bring some new offerings to all of you. But then, of course, one of the real upsides to this renovation that we saw in the numbers was increased utilization of food and beverage services, which has been amazing. With that, especially at the start of the year, it's kind of a big unknown for what's going to be status quo, underutilized, would be more heavily utilized, and I'm happy to say that it's more heavily utilized. With that, there came some growing pains. I mean, it flex and say, okay, how can we make this better? We better serve our members. So with that came the introduction of, on our busiest nights, if you came in on a Friday or a Saturday night, you would have seen a hostess that had never been here before. You would have seen food runners running food out the kitchen, people that were busing, frankly, even today this year I saw that. And those are all things that I think elevated the member experience here, certainly above anything that I could see in prior year. So thank you. Thank you to the staff for flexing there. I think it was great to have this past year. Which then leads me into thinking into the future and saying, where do we want to go from here? Where do we want 2020? What do we want our goals to be for 2026? So in my mind, sustain the utilization that we saw last year. I don't ever want to drop back to the levels of where we were at when we were underutilized this clubhouse. How will we accomplish that? Well, I think we need to make sure that our attendance at these social events is kept very highly, and that may be introducing new events so that we get different demographics here, and wanting to stay and wanting to not just golf, but and enjoy some social and some fellowship as well. I would close by saying that if you have ideas, things that you'd like to see, happy to chat with many of you, so please reach out to me, and I'm sure Colin and Brian did the same. So please reach out to us, let us know what you'd like to see. If you'd like to be a part of the House Committee this upcoming year, if we haven't talked about this, but as committees start to grow and turn over and move forward, if you'd like to be a part of House, please reach out. So thank you for a good year, thank you for making 2025 so successful, I appreciate it. Do you have any questions for me?
I don't have a question, I have a compliment. The transformation of the clubhouse and the food and beverage has been fantastic. And it amazes me. And I really haven't been in this room for an activity passed through. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you. Thank you, staff. I appreciate it. Anything else? Questions, comments?
Are we, what are we gonna do with, if we have more people parking issue? Or have we considered valid parking for big events and having something like that?
Yeah, I know we've talked about it because you're right, parking is an issue today. Stuff checking, it's hard to spot the meeting today. I don't know what the long-term plan is for that. Somebody else up here to speak to that more, but if that would be something we talked about because it would probably. Up here, don't change any thoughts when they came in. Otherwise, we could take it back and. Board meeting that.
Yeah, I'll talk about that.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you.
I have someone in the chat that's asking just if we could repeat any questions, because they can't hear it. They can hear the response, they hear the mic fine, but not the question. No.
Okay, so, yeah. So, parking, actually, if you come for, the tournaments that they have on Mondays, staff does a really great job, they station somebody outside. We do have a lot of parking over, park over at the academy, it's a little bit off. Needs to be striped a little better, but there's a ton of cars there, just parking on the grass. We had talked about, right now we can't, but we could end up moving some parking further on down. it's not gonna be close, but down near the main building, so we do have some room, right along here, we have windows. Close. Close. So Green Committee, we have spent a lot of time last year talking about greens. So consensus at the end of the year last year was a little bit too fast, a little bit too hard. We've done a whole bunch of things to. So, the hardness, we just increased the moisture content, so I think it's playing both of these quickly. The green should be a little more receptive this year. We're doing stim meter readings on the greens, twice a week to make sure we don't get, last year we were keeping our green speeds, but we're tending to go up by the weekend, so. This helps us keep the right speed range. And for the health of the greens, last year we moved a whole bunch of trees, about 10 and 13. This year you'll see some more on the left side of 7, 10 green, left side 5 green, the left side 12 green. Just removing some trees so that we get sunlight on the greens in the morning, and it lets them dry out. Keeps the light. Talk a little bit about aeration. Wayne's first year, I think 2021, sent cores from the greens to the lab, and they said, "Sky's falling. Way too much organic content in there. The roots for the plants are really weak. You're not going to make it through a drought period." So we've done a lot of aeration over the past few years. Thank you for your patience. But the lab results came back in the middle of the summer. They said they're perfect. The staff should be applauded for all of their hard work. So Wayne was here, that's some applause. That's really what's been going on, of course. And talk a little bit about a project that we have starting in November here. The sprinkler main line project. So our project to replace all the sprinkler main lines and electrical and control wire. What is that? The people know over the last 7 or 8 years, we've replaced all of the sprinkler heads and associated piping on fairways, the roughs. We did it about 10 years ago. And so now our irrigation system was installed about 35 years ago. So we have all our mainline pipes, PVC pipes that have been on the ground for 35 years. And they're failing. As you can see by some of these holes out there. So it's a big project. We're replacing materials coming in next 3rd week of October. I'm going to take up. We ordered 5.7 miles of pipe of various sizes, 3 miles of wire, and that's all going to go in trenches. Starting on Monday, November 3rd, finishing by contract by April 17th next year. So what that means for folks here is by contract, we'll do one hole at a time. Contractors 250 trench a day. I know that's in detail, but you may see during the week 1 hole closed each day while we move around the golf course. But weekends will be open if they won't be working. So and I think we're going to have a little. Or we'll put some plans in here, and here over the winter we'll highlight that's done on the course, see where it's going. So this has been a long-term project. Irrigation systems have a useful life of about 20 or 25 years. We're already at 35 years for some of these things. So hopefully next year we can spend a lot less time digging holes, drying big sleeves. Start get on to some. So questions? Yeah. We started our first survey.
What's the status of the equipment?
Which equipment?
What was,
So we've been, the past 5 or 6 years, we've had a budget of $125,000 a year we've been spending on equipment. We've upgraded a full bunch of equipment. Right now, we need another up mower. And we actually ordered one for next year. We're hoping, funding get to it with capital budget, but, that's what we need right now. We could use a tractor. We're doing pretty good. We've made a lot of upgrades.
I see you said identify a new architect to assist in future projects. I hope the Greens Committee is aware that we spent $50,000 for a master plan, including 4 focus groups with everybody involved years ago. That master plan should be around somewhere. It was done by Kip Schultes, who was an excellent architect. And a lot of that work, we went on your lights, and it was never utilized. And I think the Greens Committee should at least look at that if they're going to consider future changes to the course.
Yeah, we have and we will. We interviewed a couple of local Rhode Island architects that can save a little money without Florida. I have a copy, yeah. Actually, I have a single PDF page. That's what we have. We need to find somebody, hopefully after this year, we'll start to replace some of the bunkers at the T-boxes. And we need some great help guys in this project, so.
Well, if you look at the master plan, it costs as much to move a bunker as it does just to do a heavy, maintenance on it. And he felt that a lot of the bunkers need to be changed so that the course is easier for the high handicappers and harder for the low handicappers. That was his whole input to the master plan. So you probably should take a look at it.
Certainly will. Thanks. Yes.
Any chance of looking at some of the latest teas to level them out?
Yeah. So just let me, I haven't been repeating that, but, so for those at home, somebody asked what the chance is to, level T-boxes. Ladies, so I think.
it's all pretty effort green.
Yeah. So I think this year, this project for the, it's almost $1.3 million. I'm not sure what else we're going to be able to do. I think going forward, we have, my book, we have 3 big things to work on, capital projects on the golf course, improve some of the bunkers, level some of the tees, and make a couple of them bigger, but then look at practice area, which is a little too small for our membership. It's really getting beat up on. But so nothing yet, but anybody else to write a check? That big too. Yeah. Yes.
Dave, one quick, actually favorable comment on the bunkers. My name's John Belden, hopefully not associated with much notoriety, but more than 2 inches of rain. Played. Well, almost perfect condition. Unfortunately, I spent more time than I'd like. The only one that showed a drainage problem. I mean, we used to have terrible times on number 10, right side of number 10. They were perfect. And the only one was the first one on the left side of number 1. And it was a goldfish pond, something. It's just water. But every single other one was excellent shape.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that the one, the left fairway bunker, a few years ago, but we know that the one on the left side of 7 fairway, collects water. One of the other things to talk about is Wayne. His staff has been doing a great job. They have everybody knows we have a big second assistant, Christian Foster, who's came from LA Country Club, is a Westerly native. We have a really good team. They've been doing a great job. Thanks for a little bit of help next year, solely, two part-time guys working on bunkers. They feel like they've spent time and effort in bunkers, brain properly. So hopefully next year we'll still build bunkers. Anything else? Oh. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Good afternoon. Okay, Dan Russo, the treasurer, is unfortunately not here today. So I'm going to deliver this report for him. I'm going to begin with the operational updates. And if you recall, there are 4 departments. There's golf, greens, food and beverage, and general. Okay, for 2025 through August of 31, the projected operating surplus is of approximately 50,000 versus the budgeted 45,000. Golf projected surplus is 166,000, 107,000 better than budget. The general projected surplus is 1.32, which is 85,000 worse than budget. For food and beverage, the projected net loss is 120,000, 28,000 better than budget. The green expenses are projected to come in at budget at 1.32 million. The dues revenue for 2025 is projected at 2.33 versus 2.3 million in 2024. Remember, you'll see all this in a PowerPoint presentation that we email out to everybody. For the cash position, as of August 31, 680,000 is free cash on hand with the Bank of Rhode Island and Washington Trust. Projected for 2025 year end free cash on hand is 500,000. That's it for operating. Moving on to capital. The capital budget and irrigation project update. The capital budget of 775,000 is on track with no anticipated carryover into 2026, primarily due to a variety of unforeseen capital expenses, equipment, kitchen, plumbing, and building maintenance. The 18-hole irrigation contract is at a fixed price of $1.09 million. $400,000 included in the 2025 capital budget. $600,000 was projected for 2026 capital budget. The work is beginning in October. Actually, that's the delivery of equipment, and the work on the golf course will begin November 3rd and continue into sometime in April. For the clubhouse renovation summary, the total cost came in at budget at $3 million fixed contract price, plus $500,000 in contingency. The total amount paid was $3.29 million for the clubhouse and $210,000 for furniture, fixtures, and equipment. $775,000 came from 11 Capital Club members, $1 million from the SCC cash reserves, and $1.72 million for the loan. Continuing on with capital receipts and expenses for 2025, projected at $728,000 as follows. $80,000 operating surplus from 2024, $475,000 from capital fees, $147,000 initiation fees, $26,000 in the capital campaign. For 2025, the capital expenses are projected to come at budget at $775,000, as previously noted. Major expensive items were reported at the golf course, including the irrigation project, plumbing, kitchen, and the loan principal of $65,000. So pretty much that is Dan's report. If you have any questions, Dan suggests that you email him with any questions. I'm hoping that wasn't too quick.
The loan is another 10-year balloon, and what's the interest rate?
It is a balloon. Yeah.
This will get that to him.
And it was a pretty low interest rate because we fixed it.
Was it just an addition one? We have 1.8.
It's a second mortgage.
Separate mortgage, same bank.
Yes.
5 years, then opportunity to,
5 or 7 with the
I
loan.
think it was 5, and then we could refinance with a
So
different rate.
amortized over 20 to 5.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the general manager's report. So there might be some duplication that you might hear between the committee reports and this report. We'll have to bear with me on that. So it wasn't too long ago, from what I understand, that you had a dirt parking lot. You didn't have a golf academy. You had some old locker rooms downstairs. The club had some financial challenges, and the bar was in that small dark space right over there. So I think you need to be very proud of what that club has accomplished over these past couple of years. You have all done a great job. From the operating perspective, as we step in, the staff and I, every day, we don't know what we're going to encounter. For example, this week I walked in and somebody said, Robin, you aware that there isn't any running water in the ladies' sinks in the ladies' locker room, right? So we had no idea. We got hit with that. And then, of course, we had those crazy flowers that the landscaper put in my house at the front of the building. Also during the member, it was a great long day, and then all of a sudden a storm caused us to lose power, and so we weren't able to cook any appetizers for you, and the bathrooms weren't working, so that was just a wonderful experience. But throughout all this, we have to go back to how we treat each other through these issues that we face every day. And if things go really well, we do not hear from you. But when things go bad, we hear from everybody. It's not like we're not aware that we have issues, but it might take a little bit of time to resolve those issues. Talking about the golf course, I know Dave talked about the golf course for a bit, and Wade and his staff has done an extraordinary job during the drought this year. I was out there playing late yesterday, and I do have to reinforce proper etiquette because I hear from a lot of you that players are not repairing their pitch marks. And I went out there yesterday and there was on the pitch marks. So just as a reminder, could you just please repair your pitch marks and rake your bumpers. Another major focus this year, as Michelle noted, was the food and beverage operations. As we opened in April, it was a rocky start, no doubt. Staff was hit with, geez, you know, do we have enough bartenders? Do we have enough cooks? Do we have enough staff up front? And how do we balance that with the budget? And what do the members really, expect as we go through the season? Well, I can tell you that we do measure a lot of different statistics here at the club. One of them is the receipts, a little receipt that you get after you, purchase something in the tavern. And we have seen a tremendous amount of growth. So in June, for example, we had 380 chits more this year than we did last year. In July, we had over 400. In August, we had over 500 more chits. So we obviously are getting many more member visits in the tavern, which we're very excited to see. So through the challenges, I think the staff has done a great job stepping up to it, being very positive, even though they got, hit a little bit with some issues. And they moved forward and tried to drive that ball to meet your expectations. And I thank you, members, for having the patience during the times that we did face challenges. As we go through 2026, of course, we have to adjust again based on this developing strategic operation plan, which we don't know what that is, but we will adjust and move quickly as quickly as we can on that. I think through all of this, though, trust is really important, because if you don't trust the staff, you don't trust the leadership, you don't trust the board, you don't trust different committees, then we're not working together as a team and we become fractured. And any plan, operational plan, strategic plan that we have will fail. So that's one of our main goals for 2026 is to move forward as a great, strong community with a positive spirit, which you probably have heard me speak about over the last couple of years at every one of these meetings. I'm going to end by stating this quote: in the end, the most enduring clubs aren't the ones that stand still. They are the ones that grow with their members and with time. And so that's what we expect to do. The department heads have put together their recap of 2025 in detail and the goals that they hope to achieve for 2026. It's a long list. It's an addendum to this PowerPoint presentation that you will receive via email. So I strongly encourage you to take some time and look at that. And if you have any questions, please see any of us. We'll be happy to answer for you. Thank you for your time. Thanks for listening. Questions? Everybody? Bill and I will back to you. Yes.
Just a comment that it was a huge amount of change. And I think that you guys got through it exceptionally well, right? You brought in people. It's hard to hire people for jobs that are full-time or just really seasonal. And I think the staff did an amazing job this past year trying to, throw the spirits up and say we're sorry. And we're all like trying to see each change. So congratulations to you and everyone on the staff.
Thank you for saying that. It's a team effort for standing. Yes,
Just a quick comment on that, oftentimes, number one, we walk up and things don't want to.
Yeah.
Right. Some walkers, so I think.
Right.
Great. Box.
Yeah. That's one of those things that, I am aware, staff is aware of. Attention to detail is challenging. We need to really focus on that for next year and have a good staff and supervisors that pay attention to those details and that all the time. Absolutely correct. I can't argue that.
Could we get more of the smaller sand, not just the big?
Yeah, I think that's been requested before. Yes.
Stonington Country Club is not perfect. Nothing is perfect. But I think that the staff and the board, and especially you, Robin, have done a fantastic job. And I think we all need to recognize that, because there's a whole lot of people at other clubs who don't have the experience that we have here.
Moving forward, right? We have a great fall golf season, so please come out and enjoy it and go to the tavern. And I guess last night the cigar and bourbon dinner was a huge smash. Even though I understand Cindy dropped the moose all over the floors. See that? But we cleaned it up. All right. Thank you for your time. And thank you for the support.
Thank you, Robin. Okay, I'm going to provide you guys with a nominating committee report and election officer to the board of members. Has everybody voted? Everybody's voted. Okay, polls are closed. So this year, your nominating committee members were Michelle Pagella, Lisa Tomasco, thank you. Ray Gabriel, Rick Gibbons, Joe Walsh, and Paige Merle. I want to thank, and myself as the chair, and I want to thank all the committee members for helping us get through the process. They spent a lot of hours, we spent a lot of hours in August coming through the list of candidates, which we had many, and provided the board a recommendation, which they approved. So the following members are current members of the board and being nominated for the balance of their eligible years of continuing service ending in 2028, and that's Dave Resendes with his second term as board president. And then the following are new nominees for the board, all of whom are currently serving on committees, and all will be eligible for re-election for an additional 3-year term in 2028. And that is Rick Gibbons, Judy Monroe, Frank Livingston, and Lisa. The nominations for the slate of officers from the committee were Joe Walsh for president, Rick Gibbons for vice president, Al Spatafor for secretary, Dan Russo for treasurer. And then we recommended to the board and they approved a position of assistant treasurer, and that's Dave Baskin, to support the transition and succession planning of this very, very important position. Dan's in his second year now, so he's gonna be obviously, I'm not sure how many years he's supposed to do it, but obviously he's gonna do it this year, but we have to get the folks ruined for that important position. So Dave is was nominated for that. We also had a petition slate that was submitted with the following names of Donna Dooley for president, Rick Gibbons, vice president, Al Spatafor, secretary, Dan Russo, treasurer, and Dave Baskin. So that would be all right. Okay. Is there any question before we give the results? Go ahead.
Is there path to the board? Like, I know that you mentioned that some of the committees, but I know Dave, we used to work together. I don't think he was on a committee. So is there a sort of fixed path, or is it just when you identify individuals that think strong candidates?
Well, it's the process we follow were a few things. What you just mentioned was a few of the things that we considered. We also had recommendations from Robin, for example. We also had recommendations from some of the membership. Some of the membership emailed me and said, "Hey, I recommend this person." So we took that all into account. Obviously, folks that had committee experience is a plus. We definitely looked at that, but also, we took into account some folks' background, what they did either, before they retired and joined the country club or currently working, what they do, so that depending on the position, that was taken into consideration as well. I don't know if that's a straightforward answer for you, Donna, but we kind of looked at everything. We also took it into account demographics. We want to make sure that we have a good cross section of folks on the board and officers that kind of represent the entire membership age, et cetera. So, because our demographics are, you got some new members, we got some seasoned members, folks that have been here for a while. So we try to take that into account as well in these sense. Any other questions? Okay. So the winner is the nominated slate by a wide majority. So Joe Walsh, president, Rick Gibbons, vice president, Dan Russo, treasurer, Al Spatafor, secretary, and Dave Baskin as the assistant treasurer. And then the board members that I read off earlier have also been elected. And it was Rick Gibbons, Judy Monroe, Frank Livingston, and Lisa Thompson. Congratulations to all the winners. Is there any other questions or comments? Okay,
We deserve to know.
it was by a wide majority, we're not gonna give the actual count.
Why not?
If anybody wants to know the actual numbers, they can get that in the notes.
Fixed.
Okay. Done?
I want to thank everybody for coming out today. I want to thank everybody for voting. I know it's the first time that this has happened, in my memory anyway. I'd like to invite Joe to come up and introduce himself and maybe give a couple of closing comments.
Comments, first, just say thank you to everybody who supported, my candidacy because they know me. But maybe as important or more important is the support that I got from people who couldn't pick me up on. I think, those folks are the folks that basically supported the board, nominated Slate. They supported our bylaws, our processes, and how it be. I do want to say that I have absolutely no ill will for Donna deciding to be a petition candidate. Everything was done in accordance with our bylaws. We have bylaws, applied to that stipulation, and everything was done that way. And on top of that, I'd just like to say thank you very much. Donna's worked 6 long years on the board. She's been secretary of the club. And obviously this past year, she's been our president. And during that time, when you look at the renovation on time, on budget, I think she did a great job managing the club and leading us to the next steps. So thank you. And I hope that, think for various reasons, everybody had to pick a side. And I really don't know that that was helping the club, for the atmosphere of the club. I tell my wife all the time, this is my happiness. This is where I come to not have any stress. If I have it free, I'll come here, try to play a quick 9 perhaps, and just sit out there and have a beer, or go over to the range and work real hard, not including my golf game. But I've always loved just coming here. And over the course of the last several months, we've worked our way through this process, and I think kudos to the board. They did a great job working their way through this process. But it felt like there was a lot of angst in there. There was a lot of chatter, there was a lot of talk, which I just didn't think was healthy, and I really look forward to kind of getting back to camaraderie and the happiness atmosphere that this board, that this club had in the past. I guess just the final thing I want to do is also acknowledge the 4 board members who are leaving after serving there 6 full years. They've worked very hard. I mean, it takes a lot of commitment, volunteer to do all of the work that the folks on the board do. So Peter Auerbach is completing his 6 years. Linda Cogman, I know, is here. Linda, how about seeing that, please? Matt Lindauer, who I don't think is here. He was here last night, and we chatted a little bit. And I just got to tell you, Ron kind of mentioned it, that was the best meal I've ever had. It's part of my sewer system. And the chef and Brian just did a fantastic job. I'll talk about the minute. You know, you can put some of these things on the menu. They had a carpaccio salad, lobster tail, and it was just so. Hey, I was people at work, and so that in there here, and again, he's done a great job. And then obviously, finally, Donna, he started 6 years on the board, and I know we all want to say that. That's it. really do look forward to working with, every one of you, the entire membership. You know, one of the things I continuously say, more gives to that this club, since we've been members, my wife and I, for 7 years, every year has gotten better and better. So golf course has improved. We built the academy, the renovation, everything there's an upward slope. And I think we all want to continue that, improvements to the club. So again, thanks very much for your support. Thanks for coming out today. And,
Well, I'm looking forward to taking off those 10 strokes off of my handicap that I've added in the next year. If there are no other questions, Bob? Al, do you want to speak to this?
The nominating committee did, have a person that, we recommended to the board and the board approved. However, this year, we, decided not to present an award for this year.
Why?
Why? Well, there was an objection by one member. They felt that.
Wait.
All right, so there's a process that, we were supposed to follow as a nominating committee when we came up with the Bob Evans service. One of them was to confirm with Bob after, and basically to get his blessing. We didn't do that. I didn't know that was part of the process, quite frankly, so, but as committee chairman, I'm responsible for that, so shame on me. So Bob, because he was not involved with the process, objected to, presenting them.
Bob have anything to service for the club? If it's in his name, it's in his name. Why should I go to him?
It's a good question, but his name is, and he felt that he has a right to.
Change the name.
It's the
Change the name.
subscription.
Name monkey, choose, yes.
Oh, my idea we did that. I did that. That at the board, that majority board did not vote for this option, but that was called the Stonington Country Club Services.
Second.
All right, well, I guess we can take a vote now.
I make the motion that we change the name to the Stonington Country Club Service.
I second.
Let's go to the whole membership instead of who's just in this room.
What's that?
We have a forum, go to the whole membership instead of just in this room.
And
About 70 people in.
All right, so I'll make a motion to change the name to the Stonington.
Seamus.
So what is the name?
Seamus already did, okay.
Second.
Second, okay, all in favor? Okay, so this year's, anybody opposed?
You don't even have the full membership voting on this. You got a quorum, why do you think we're here?
All right, so it's approved. We changed the name to the Stonington Country Club Award. And this year award will go to Dave Present.
Any other questions or comments? Yes. Motion adjourned. Second. All in favor of adjourning? Opposed? Meeting adjourns. At 2:33.
Well, I think you can put that in place.